All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on Chat with Kat. Today, I've got Christine Stow, who is an expert in obtaining grants. So, if you're looking at starting up a new business and you need a little financial help, looking for ways to apply for grants is Christine's specialty. So, Christine, do you want to tell us how you got started in this business?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the beginning and I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I worked in forensic science, testing drugs and blood alcohol, but I was always getting in trouble for talking too much. So I thought
Perfect.
I probably shouldn't be in the lab, too social. Yeah. So I wanted to go into sales. So I moved states. I moved totally into another state, which is a big deal here in Australia. And from there, I got into laboratory and medical sales and became national sales manager for a medical company. Now, that's important because when it comes to writing grants, when I looked back and I thought, why is it that I can write grants and other people find it so hard? It's because being in sales, firstly, I can
Mm-hmm.
sell the grant idea to the grant makers. And secondly, I was used to writing proposals. So I'd written, $1 million proposals, and that's why I was able to write grant proposals. So from there, I was national sales manager, had, you know, husband that I loved, two children, white, literally the white picket fence. Is that what you say in
Yes.
Canada, the white picket fence when it's all
Yes.
happy and
Perfect little
inner city?
family, perfect little life with the house to go with it.
Yeah, beautiful car, and we're renovating a house in the city, Melbourne. And then at three months of age, the child and maternal health nurse, so you go regularly with your children to check them out, and she said she's not meeting her milestones. I'll send you to a pediatrician. And at that stage, I didn't know what was wrong with my daughter. It was very strange. It didn't fit anything, but she said she's not meeting her milestones, and it was shattering. From there, I was slung onto a what I call a merry-go-round, couldn't get off with medical health professionals. And it turns out that she has a muscle condition that makes her muscles stiff. So her fingers are all like this and she's all stiff. So she ended up getting diagnosed, but it meant that I couldn't go back to my career, my corporate career, and it was a career that I loved. I was sent all around the world to advise doctors and swanning around in the Great Barrier Reef, talking to anaesthetists. It was a great life. And then to be, like dumped like that. So from there, I got involved in politics. I got involved in politics because when people asked me to stand in the state election, I don't know what that's, if you have different states or territories in Canada.
We've got provinces, but yeah, it's states in the US.
Yeah. So people asked me to stand in the state election on disability issues, which I did. And it was hard.
Oh,
It was
of course.
tiring. From there, I went on, I completed my Masters of Business Administration. Then my husband left, and then some more people asked me to stand in the local government election. So I did that as well. And then I got elected to local government. But through the time, I'd been applying for grants from when my daughter was 18 months old. So I applied for a grant to set up a support group for parents of children with disabilities. And then I set up a not-for-profit group for carers again. And then I went on and got elected to council. And then I was actually able to see how they make the decisions from the other side. So then
Oh,
after
okay.
council, yeah, so I saw, we're sitting around in the chamber and saying, this one, not that one, this is why. So I actually got to see. And plus, because I'm involved in politics, I'm actually on first name basis with a lot of the politicians here. So I know how it works from that point of view. So I can help people get their project or their campaign or their business. The same principles apply with business. So I mapped out what I did and looked back at what I did to get grants. And that's what I've put together in my program now, which is called Grants Made Easy. So that's the fast track of my life.
That's awesome. So what types of grants have you helped people get? And where the people that have utilized your program, where are they typically from?
So I get a lot of people in small business that want a small business grant or looking to set up a not-for-profit, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have I presume you have not-for-profits, charitable organizations in
Yeah.
Canada. So what I say is that people here in Australia, they want to set up a charitable organisation and get tax deductible, benefits from doing all that. But that takes a lot of work and costs a lot of money. So what I say is to start off small, look for a small grant because they're easier to get. And once you get that, you can get the ball rolling and you can get kudos and then you can grow and then you can engage more people. But what I see a lot of is people ask the wrong question.
Mm-hmm.
They say, is there a grant out there for me? Which is, it's not the way to go about it. So what I say is that what you need to do is to write up a grant proposal. And this is, coming from my experience, coming from working with politicians. So you write up a proposal and you start with your mission, your budget, and your outcomes. Very simple. And this is what I go over in more detail in the Grants Made Easy program. So, and then you've got a budget, a grant proposal that you can take to the local government or the MPs or it might not even be in government. So we have other organisations like your superannuation organisations or banks often fund charitable organisations or they might fund something, an event or something in the community, and they do that regularly. Okay. So it's not just about looking at what grants are out there. It's about writing your proposal and then going, okay, so who might want to partner with me with this? Okay. Who might want to help me get this off the ground? For example, I set up a charitable organisation to help children with disabilities, and we had a local housing developer give us money. Okay. So it's about who would partner with us, and they wanted to partner with us because they wanted to talk to more people to sell houses. Mm-hmm. So they came to this event and they gave us a big check, and it was great.
Right. So kind of looking like for a sponsor for your project.
Yeah, sponsor. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, if you look for a sponsor or if you look for, someone you can partner with, you have more control over how the money's spent. Mm-hmm. Because the government usually has grants and they want to achieve specific things. Like they want to achieve more employment, or they want to develop technology, or they want to help people with disabilities, Indigenous people, and women. So if you're focusing on those areas, then you can go out and look for the funding.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I understand that kind of because I'm in real estate, we do have certain grants for say basement developments with a legal suite. So the government will provide you with X amount of money, but there's a number of conditions that you have to meet, right? They say that you have to apply certain criteria to your rents. So there is a rent cap and a number of other things. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, so they're like, yeah, we'll give you this money, but you have to do this, this, this. So I totally get what you're saying when it comes to the grants. So yeah, depending on what your goal is, that may or may not be the best place to go. Definitely.
Exactly. And here's the thing, I wrote a grant proposal. That's how I got a holiday program for children with special needs off the ground way back in 2004. And I did that because I wrote a proposal. Mm-hmm. And I took it to the local government. That organisation now, they set up an organisation, funded it, and it's now a $1 million turnover.
Wow.
So it started off as a small program, and it grew. You know, they added this and added this, and then other local government areas would say, "Oh, you've got that holiday program over there. That's great. How can we do that?" Everybody was looking at it and saying, "We want one of those as well."
Mm-hmm.
So start off small. Start off small, something that you can do. And once we set up the not-for-profit group, people started throwing us money.
Yeah. People like to
So
sponsor not-for-profits, right? Doing some good in the community, right?
everybody wants to help. Everybody
Absolutely.
wants to help. So once we set it up and people knew we were about children with disabilities, I would get phone calls and say, you know, we've got this funding at the end of the year. Where can we give it to you? So get set up and get going, and then the money will come.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Make sure you have a really good, rock solid plan, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So for businesses, that's not for profit, how easy is it to get funding?
So for businesses that are for profit,
Yes.
use the same principles. Set up your mission, your budget, and then your outcomes. So if there's something that you want to do in the community, then you can go to your local government or whoever it is, or you might want a partner or joint venture, and take it to your local government, or take it to your politician. It might be something that they sponsor. It's the same principles though. So here at the moment, and probably same in Canada, we've got a lot of COVID grants,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. So we have a lot of online grants. It's the same thing. They want to know who you are, what you're going to do. You'll need a budget and the outcomes. That's
Mm-hmm.
essentially the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what types of businesses have you helped get going on grants?
So small businesses. So I've talked to a lot of people to help them, show them where to look for grants, apply for grants. So here in Australia, there's been grants for improving technology, for example.
Okay.
So if you're a business, well, if you're a business here in Australia and you want to get going, you're a startup, there's a program called New Enterprise Incentive Scheme. So that's where they go and they train you what to do in business. But if you're looking for money to start up your business, then given that you're a profit organization, you use the same principles, but you need to be looking for a loan.
For
You
a
need to
loan?
be
Okay.
a bank loan because you're going to be a profitable thing, so you'll be able to pay that back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the same principles. You still need to tell the bank or whoever it is or your joint venture partner. Now, in terms of what I hear a lot of people say is, what grant is out there for me? And I've had people come to me and say, I want to write a book. Can I get money to write a book? And I say, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends what you're writing the book about. So you might be a business, but you might be writing a book to help carers, for example. Or you might be writing a book to help, I don't know, you might be writing a book to help real estate agents get back in the market after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So again, write up what it is, what you need, and the outcomes, and then take it to your politicians to get the funding. So it's not about the book. It's about the outcomes. So I say, put form and function around your passion and purpose, and the money will come. So the form and function is your budget and your proposal,
Mm-hmm.
and the money comes. When you put your passion behind it, people go, oh yeah, I want to be part of that.
Okay. So your program, is it, do you learn on your own or is it guided? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's automated. So there's 8 modules where I've got videos and worksheets with each module. So, and I go through setting up your mission, your budget, and your proposal. And then I actually do a search online and talk about some of the other aspects in there, like setting up a not-for-profit or fundraising. So if you're a business, you can use Kickstarter. Like if you want to get a new thing off the ground, you can use Kickstarter, like some of those online platforms, GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And again, if it's a government thing, there's a lot of strings attached.
Yeah.
If you use a Kickstarter or GoFundMe, they have different strings, but they might be more suitable. But you still need to do the same things. You still need to have something that people can connect to.
Right. Right. No, I love Kickstarter because, you might have a great idea, but not have the funding to really kickstart it, right? So I love the concept of it because people can get in, at a lower rate, and then you've got your money, right, to start up, and you know they're and the people that are putting money in, they're basically contributing, but getting a really good benefit out of it in the end, right? So I love that idea.
The
Um,
other thing is when you're fundraising, you're also marketing.
yes, yes, you're
So
learning.
if you're,
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of a two in
so
one,
you're like,
right?
pardon?
It's kind of a two in one.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
putting it out there to a bigger audience and you're going, hey, look, this is what my thing is. And, I need some money in. And I saw a great program on Kickstarter where they needed technology to develop a product. And they ran this whole campaign where, and you could sit down and have dinner with the CEOs and of the CEO. So it was a great marketing expedition. The other thing, with fundraising disabilities, I convinced my local gym to run a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 24-hour where somebody had to be on the treadmill for 24 hours, and we got sponsors for it. And they had a ball, and they had all these people coming. They had a barbecue, balloons, people. It was great, and they got a whole lot of marketing out of it. They got a whole lot of kudos, and they said to me, "We're going to do this again." But they said, "What we've found, people were coming and tipping their purses on the counter. They were coming and just giving us money." So if you've got a cause, if you've got something that people can connect with, they'll give you money.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Make it something that's worthwhile for them, right? Make it something
Yeah.
that if it's going to change someone's lives, it should be easy. It should be easy, right? To get
Well,
that
it is
fundraising
easy.
amount.
It is easy. But you just got to start, But I've had other people say to me, "Oh, I want to set up a domestic violence support group,
Mm-hmm.
and I need a grant." And I say, "Well, what do you need a grant for?" List it down. List down what you need. And it turned out at the end of the day, all she needed was a venue and to advertise it. She didn't really need a grant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. Just providing space, a lot of businesses would openly give them a space to do that, right?
Yeah. So, but it takes just writing it down. And that's what I've got. I've got cheat sheets, workbooks in the whole Grants Made Easy. So once you write it down, and look, I don't know if you believe in manifesting and the power of the
Oh,
universe or whatever.
absolutely.
My background's science. So I thought that was all hoo-ha.
Yeah.
But when I thought about it, I thought, the thing is, I've written these things down as proposals, and then they happen.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
whether you believe in the power of the universe or not, once you write it down, like you're committing to it.
Yeah, it almost makes it
Like,
more concrete, right? You
yeah,
can
it
touch it, you
is.
can grasp it. So, yeah, if it
It,
stays in
it,
your head, no one sees it, it's not real. But once you have it written down, it's like, okay, I have to do this, right?
exactly.
Yeah, no, I
So,
definitely believe in manifesting what you have and what you're gonna do. It definitely is real. And a lot of times, I look at things and go, "Ugh, okay, maybe that's not realistic, right?" But if you can think of it, for the most part, it can be done, right? So yeah, absolutely, that is definitely something that I believe in. And if you ask any type of coach, they'll also say absolutely 100%. You want something, write it down, have a plan, it can be done. You just have to be consistent, that's all,
yeah.
right?
So I have a dream that I want to sail around the Whitsundays. And Whitsundays are on the Great Barrier Reef. It's all lovely swanning around. And I thought to myself, oh no, that's not realistic. And when I actually looked into it, it only cost $600 for 3 nights.
There you go.
So when you actually start to do your research, it makes it become real, and it might not be so insurmountable. So coming back to business, yes, you need to plan. And almost everybody that's come to me and says, I want a grant, they haven't even put pen to paper. So if there's one thing that I could say to do, it's to put it into a plan.
Yeah. List out exactly what that means. What does the grant mean to you, right? What is it going to do? What is the outcome?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The outcome is big because the government doesn't give you money. Like people say, I want a grant to set up a domestic violence refuge. And I go, okay, so how much do you want? They go, millions. Okay, have you budgeted that? Oh, no.
Yeah, no, you need to have an exact plan, down to, the timeline, right? If you're getting a loan, you need to know what your timeline is because you got to pay that back, right? So the longer that you have it, the more interest that you're going to accrue and the more you're going to have to pay back. So you need to have a really good plan, 3 months, maybe 6 months, I think, and get that loan paid back. And
but do you need money really? Do you need a loan? Once you put it down, once you start doing your research and putting it in writing, then it's your roadmap.
Yeah, so have a kick-ass business plan and the money will come, right? Whether you need funding or not, put it pen to paper and that money will start rolling in. Have a good plan. Very details is where it's at. You need those details, those fine details. And
the more details, the better. The more it becomes real.
For sure. Then you know exactly what needs to be done, right? From day to day. So I've read a book called The 12-Week Year, right? So a lot of people, when they teach you how to plan out your business, it's like, okay, what are you gonna achieve within this year, 2 years, 5 years? Like, what are your goals? And it just seems so far away, 1 year. Okay, well, I've got 1 year to achieve this. So then you procrastinate because you've got so much time. But if you break this timeline down to 12 weeks, and this book is called The 12-Week Year, then you go, oh, I only have 3 months. 12 weeks, like I got to get going now, right? So plan better, make shorter timelines. Obviously there's longer time frames for different things, different goals. But if you're planning something, kind of to what you need to get done, this shorter timeline, it works really well.
So you see a lot of business coaches working on a 90-day plan. So do it for 90 days.
Yeah.
Gets to be a habit.
Yeah. Well, to get anything to be a habit, you need to do it every day consistently for 21 days, right? And then it becomes habit. So, yeah, if you want something done and it only takes a little bit of time or a little bit of change that, that 1% every day makes a huge, huge difference in the end, right? So I think we're probably getting a little off topic, but the point is you want to get something done. You want to get grants. You want to get loans. All you have to do is plan, have a great plan, and put it into action.
Or if it's for your business, you need to plan.
Yes.
That's the first thing you need to do. You need to plan. And everybody that's come to me hasn't had, or maybe one, hasn't actually put pen to paper and hasn't had a plan. So one thing I was going to ask, I worked in real estate here for a while in Australia, and real estate agents actually have grants as well. So we've got some local agents that actually give grants to help victims of domestic violence. So they fundraise and contribute. But the other thing that real estate agents do is if you're doing a charitable event well, I don't even know if it has to be a charitable event, but if you're running an event, real estate agents will give you a board to put up and advertise the event. So they have in their budget. So they like that because it promotes their brand, it promotes
Right.
their agency. So you
Right.
can go to agents. I mean, they might say no, but I know a few local agents around here, and you just have to ask them. So ask them, I'm running an event, have you got any boards that I can put up? Where can I put them? And they'll put up a full on, full size board for you on a corner, a busy corner. They love it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
free.
Yeah. No, we do have a couple of charitable um, events that we have for realtors. And on an ongoing basis, our fees basically do go towards a charity or probably a
Yeah,
few charities. So
yeah.
we have an amazing board.
So, so if somebody came along and said, I want to collaborate with you, um, at one stage when I was in real estate, I did a colouring competition with a local kindergarten, and they put them all up in our window, so all the parents came to see all the houses in the window too.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. No, it's all about being creative, right? A lot of times.
Yeah, very creative. The other thing that I'm going to say about grants is that grants just aren't money to put in your pocket.
No.
People think that they're just you get money and put in your pocket, or you put in your pocket, or you pay yourself to do the work or whatever. It's about the change you make in the world, but grants also cover things like tax incentives. So you might get a tax grant. So that might be you go and buy a new computer for your business, and then you get the money back in tax. Or it might be a scholarship to work in a business incubator. So those are also considered grants. So it might not be money in your pocket, but it might be worth $100,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Any way to save on taxes is great.
But again, it's the same process. You need to write your plan, know what you're doing, respond to the questions to be able to get those grants, the tax incentives or the scholarships. There's different grants are different. Like people think when they ask me, they go, is there a grant to write a book? But you need to think a bit more outside the box and think of other ways. So if you get a scholarship, might be valued at $100,000, but it might double your business to 200,000. You
Right.
know.
Right. So when you're writing a proposal, approximately how many pages should a proposal be? Is there like a set guideline, or is there a
So I,
maximum,
I think
minimum?
I'd say I'd start with a one-page proposal, just
Okay.
one page. Your mission, budget, and then your outcomes. So from there, with that, you've got the outline so that if a grant comes along, then you can go, okay, I can plug this in here. I've got this, and this, but they're asking me this. They're asking me who else are you going to collaborate with? Who are the people that you're going to help? So usually the grants that I've been applying for recently, they ask who's the cohort that you're helping? What are their what do you start with and what's the outcome? So that's what they want to know. So it's about your passion. You put form and function around your passion and purpose, and it's about the outcomes you make for the community.
Okay. No, I love that. It's not going to be, a daunting, okay, I have to come up with this 10-page proposal. Like it, you know, one of the things about habits is make it easy, right? So I read the Atomic Habits, and now I'm going, okay, everything that I want to do, I have to make it easy. If I want someone to do it with me, I have to make it easy for them. So I'm all about making it easy. So that's why I asked that question, because like one pager, everyone's going to be like, holy cow, I can do this. One page? Yeah, for sure. But if you're saying, well, you're probably going to have to write a 10-page proposal if you want your chances to go up, then people are going to be like, okay, too much work, right? So
Yeah.
that's really important to know, that you just need to do a 1-page solid proposal.
To start
Awesome.
with, yeah. to start with, yeah. And I do have a more in-depth proposal template. And people ask me, so how much information do I need, or how long will it take? Well, it depends on the grant. So if it's a $10,000 grant, which is standard business small business grant, it's probably about 3 pages of questions that you have to answer. And the questions that you have to answer are what's your address, what's your business name, your name, contact detail. They're not onerous.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be like 3 questions about your budget, what are you doing, and what are the outcomes?
Yeah. Sounds simple. I feel like I
Yeah.
need to apply for a grant just because and see if I can get one.
Yeah. So I've made a black book for where I go to look for grants. So, all the places in Australia. I've also added the Canadian link in there to look for grants in Canada. But if you
Awesome.
use those principles and look around for, who might work with you. And also I'm running a webinar Friday, the 13th of August at 9:30. So that'll be Thursday, 5:30 your time.
Thursday at
So
$5:30.
I'm running the webinar to help people to show people how to write proposals.
Oh, awesome.
So they'll actually get their proposal written in the webinar. But I'll send you the link to that later on.
Okay, Thursday my time. That's today at 5:30, right?
Yeah, next week.
Next week. Okay, next Thursday at 5:30. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you'll post the link underneath in the comments, right?
Uh, later today when I actually get it together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Awesome. So if anybody is looking to start their business and looking for some grants or possibility of some grants, or maybe just some fundraising ideas, Kickstarter ideas, Christine is going to show you in her webinar on how to do that. So be sure to get that link and sign up for her webinar. So that is next Thursday. And what date is that? That
It'll be
is,
Thursday the 12th. Thursday the 12th, 5:30 your time.
yes, Thursday the 12th at 5:30 p.m. Okay, so if you guys are a small business looking for ways to raise money, get on this webinar. All right? All right.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Absolutely. Finding money is always fun.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
All right, Christine, thank you so much for all the information. Is there any last words that you'd like to add?
So if you want to achieve something, just put a form and function around it and go for it. Everything's possible.
Absolutely, everything is possible. I've gone from being shy to like doing this online live. Like I don't know what I'm thinking, but hey, it's been really fun. So thank you very much, Christine, for joining me on Chat with Kat. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.
See ya.